laugh.
Yeah. Can you pass that one back down? I'm gonna pour me just a little bit more, so I ain't gotta keep asking for it. Honestly,
Okay, I keep brought like a cute little
sorry, I'm
glass.
showing you.
I usually bring. I was
glass?
just telling her I usually bring.
But I
Like,
just only got one.
Oh,
no, I usually bring glassware, but you can use your glassware. I be using my
I brought my
glassware,
cute
but I
glass.
just didn't want to use glassware this time because I was
Because when you
rushing.
said, "Oh, I'm gonna grab cups," I was like, I can just,
bring your
I
cute
usually
glass.
have that bag usually be chingling over there because I usually be putting. Okay, are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
It's been a long time. Okay, I'm about to start, y'all.
Where you want me to put this? Boy, my
Wherever, just as long as somebody could grab it and pass it down.
Okay.
Oh, can I have a little bit?
over there.
Slide it on there.
Just a little bit.
Okay.
Just give myself a little bubbly.
A little bubbly.
That one look a little bubbly.
It's my first time.
Okay.
Why the bottles gotta be by me?
Right.
I'm the problem.
Stop.
Okay. So, welcome back to Ricky Be Talking. It's been a long time. I know you guys have missed me, but I like to take my breaks and vacation and then let you guys miss me a little bit and then come back and, stir up the pot again. So, today I am here with three of my really good friends. I have Lily. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'm Lily. I'm from Georgia,
Okay.
and I'm here.
And then I think you all know the next guest.
Jalecia.
And what do you do?
I'm a Dallas, Texas realtor. If you're looking to buy, lease, or what is that? Commercial? I do it all. Hit me up, Dallas and Houston.
And then finally, but not least, Allie.
Hi, I'm Allie. Newly resident to Dallas, originally from Mississippi.
Okay. Well, today we're going to talk about just co-parenting, single Black females, raising kids, just like how that dynamic works between like the baby fathers and the mother. Also, just talking about like emotionally healing, finding a good place within yourself after breakups, especially if you have a child involved. How your friends play a big part of that. How dating life changes after you have kids. Just all of the good stuff that you want to hear. So I'm gonna start out just with some casual questions. So what y'all been up to? Like y'all did anything fun lately?
Well, on topic, my son is with his father for the whole month. So I have been outside.
Outside.
I've been
Yeah.
outside.
She has been outside. She has.
Hey.
She
Yeah.
definitely been outside.
Yeah, just, little things, some me time, some real intense me time and catching up with my friends and just being able to do what I want to do when I want to do it. So it's been good. I've been chilling.
Yes, and this is like the most I've seen her in years. So June and July has the most I have seen her in
It's an
years.
annual thing,
Yeah, so we've been turning up. All right, what about you, Jaleesa? Anything you've been doing lately?
The complete opposite. I've been booed up. Who would have thought?
That's good.
Ooh, inside.
Yes, I like it.
Okay, well, we have to talk more about that in a minute.
Mhm.
And what about you, Adley?
I have been taking a little break to get back to me. I have been exploring my hobbies.
Okay.
And doing some DIY projects. One of my best friends recently got married, so I've been doing a little event planning. So
Okay.
who knows? We
good.
might expand that into a career.
Right, exactly, because that's where the money at. Event planning.
Right. Mhm.
I just recently got back from Paris, like a
See?
couple days ago, and it was interesting. I would say I went with my cousins. We had a good time. I got there on a Saturday and was supposed to leave on a Tuesday, but due to flight cancellations and overbookings, I ended up staying for a week. So I went from Paris to New York to Philly to New Orleans to Dallas just to get back home. So it was a lot. I was very exhausted. But what I will say is I had a really, really great time. And the people in Paris, They're not so bad. It's a lot of Africans in Paris. Who would have ever thought? It's a lot of Africans. It's a lot of, I would say, black people, but primarily they're African. But
Yeah.
I had a good time, and I really got to see the culture and got to see their nightlife. It was just really fun. Nothing too crazy, but fun.
Would you say that they treat Black Americans pretty well out over there in France?
I would say that so we all had different experiences. So Dunny, he said that he didn't really necessarily feel like the people were as welcoming and warm. Me myself, I felt like they loved me and Wayne. They were just like, every time they be like, "Yo, American," yeah, they be like, "Yeah, yes." I don't know. It was just it was different. I think it was probably because we were there longer than Dunny too. So I think we had sort of just gotten accustomed to how they move and sort of how they communicate.
Yeah.
And they can be very stern and kind of very, what's the word? Aggressive. But I'm used to that, being from Mississippi, I'm used to that aggressiveness.
Yeah.
So it didn't really bother me. To someone else, it may bother them because they're like, why are you talking to me like that? But
right.
I say, you be rude to me, I just be rude back to you. So that's just what it was for me.
Match energy.
Right. I was just matching the energy out there. So I don't know. I had a good time. I did not. But as far as your question, I feel like they loved us. I feel like that maybe they weren't used to seeing Black Americans as much. I don't know. That was my take on it. I was like, there are Black people here, but maybe because we're Black and American, that was a little bit different. Because I felt like they really was treating us really well. By the time we left this one club, we had already made friends with the whole club. Just about everybody just wanted to talk to us. So I don't know.
Probably your energy.
Yeah, I was gonna
say they look at some Americans okay, y'all are rude.
Yeah,
but you probably your energy.
And I have that
gravitated towards y'all.
That theory on you that you operate from a main character view.
I'm still thinking this girl. I don't know what to do.
So it's hard for the main character.
What does the main character syndrome mean? What the hell does that mean?
It's hard for someone who is the main character to think anything less of. Everybody's here to see me anyway.
Well,
when I walk in, I'm the main event. So.
Well, I cannot say that's a lie. I mean, tell the truth there. But no, I'm glad we're all having great summers, and I hope it continues. Back to, how old are your kids? So let's just start there. Lily, how old is your child?
Sweet baby boy is 3 years old.
Okay. And you?
My baby's 13. I have a teenager.
Wow.
And what about you?
My baby is 5.
Okay, so all different, sort of ages. Jaleesa, with you having the oldest child, how have you seen, has there been any, progression, with your relationship with your baby's father, from the beginning to now? And it's so odd me asking you these questions because I already know the answer, but I want you to share it with the rest of these people.
It's the same. He's not very present. I can say the last few months, he's done more than he's ever done out of the 13 years. Just getting him to keep a steady job. I've always had him on child support since my son was probably 2 months.
Mm-hmm.
So right now, that's the thing now, is just trying to get more. I just found out I only get $150 a month for Kobe. So
Which is nothing.
And before now, which was 2 months ago, I didn't get child support since 2013, March 2013. So all them years, he didn't really do anything for Kobe.
So you really have been
or been there. It ain't even about the money, just being there, calling Kobe, checking on him. He's like, oh, you moved Kobe away, but come on, you can call, check on him, see how
So you really have been a single mom.
I've been a single mom 13
financially
years.
too. Yeah. And what about you, Lily? Have you, I know your child's only 3, but has it been a big progression from or are things just been the same?
No, it's dramatically changed, I would say, this year. And it might just be that, since my son is so young, or our son is so young, everything is still fresh. So the court order is fresh. Like,
Mm.
all of that is still fresh. So I think when it's open, it's just a lot of emotions, like, a lot of disagreements. It's a lot of tension.
Mm-hmm.
So it's hard for it to kind of smoothly, just calm down. But I think now it is what it is for us. So we just have to learn how to work with our new reality.
Yeah.
So, but this year compared to the last 2 years is wonderful. Like,
Okay.
I've only been annoyed one time.
Oh, well, that's good.
Hey.
And what about you?
I would say that it's been consistent.
Okay.
My experience with my child's father
Mhm.
he has been very present and very supportive when it comes to our child since when I was pregnant, throughout now and presently. So I can say that it has been consistent between
Okay.
us.
And just for the record, none of you all are with your baby daddies, right?
No.
Correct.
I'm not.
Just gotta ask. 'Cause I don't know.
For the record.
But on the topic of child support, no, this one gets me real heated because I may not be a parent, but I grew up in a home with a single mom. And the child support thing has just always been very big to me because I feel like there's a stigma that if you put someone on child support, like you're doing something bad.
Mm.
When in actuality, child support is really there to protect both parties.
Mhm.
And I don't think a lot of Black people really realize that. I don't know where this negative stigma of child support has come from.
Mm.
But what are your thoughts on just putting your baby daddies on child support?
Well, baby, I put my child support. The code was too much. I told him one thing: go buy some bottles and get him circumcised, and he couldn't do that. So I was like, cool. And I mean, we were still together. But I put him on child support. I feel like if it's not a bad thing, but then it's like some people, when you put them on child support, they may not do anything more than just the child support. So sometimes like child support can be a good thing, but it can be, depending on how much the person
Yeah.
make, it can be a bad thing too.
Well, I wonder, when you say that, I'm thinking, but if they was gonna do more anyway, then the child support should not just be supplemental, right? Like, just because I put you on child support doesn't mean you can just stop everything.
But
So that leads me to believe you wasn't gonna do anything.
most Black men think that's all they should do. Except
Right.
for some, not all, because there's some
Right.
good men that still. I've dated 2 good guys that pay child support and still take care of the kids.
Right.
Mhm.
Just take them shopping, take them on trips, do everything for them. So that's not everybody. I'm just saying.
Right,
For me,
right.
no.
There's this poor stigma when it comes to child support. When it comes down to men, it's like, oh, well, you just want money, or you just had my baby just to get money off of it. What people
What
need,
money?
right? What people need to realize is children are expensive. And if the woman is the custodial parent, we're having to rearrange our entire lives to make sure that that child is comfortable. Whereas you could stay in a 1-bedroom or studio apartment. I have always got to stay in a 2-bedroom or have an extra this or that for our child. Plus child care. Plus, I don't know about you guys, my son can eat. Go through groceries.
Mhm.
So it's a lot of expenses when it comes. So if I have to keep begging you to do the bare minimum, yes, I'm going to make sure I can get what I can get out of you. And most states requires the mom to put the child on child support in order for her to get any type of assistance.
Right.
Child
Child
care,
assistance?
yep. The voucher, groceries for food stamps, Medicaid. You have got to, because what they're going to look at is what are you doing for yourself before I issue anything out for you.
Right.
So
Yeah, I have heard of that. That situation, a situation basically escalated because someone was just requesting support.
Right.
And so it led to that, and it just turned out real messy. But to the question, I personally just feel when I chose to do it, it was just it came with the boundaries. You can't really have a schedule. It just comes with the boundaries. So it doesn't hurt that it's in place, because I agree, it's put in place to protect both of us. Because
Right.
if I don't do it now, I can come back later, and now you
Exactly.
owe me back child support.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I figured the sooner I do it, the better for both of us.
Right.
You know, we can get in routine. We on a schedule. We got our boundaries. We don't have to think about it so much as our child continues to get older.
Right.
Can I ask Allie? Okay,
Yeah.
so Allie, I know you the opposite. So I know Jesse not on child support. So how do you like? I mean, I know he takes care of like Ethan and everything, but like what am I trying to say? Like, would you? I mean, I know you wouldn't, but when would you feel like, okay, I got to put him on child support?
Well, we actually talked about that when our child was really younger, when we were a baby. I gave him the option. I told him, we can go ahead and go through the court order where you don't have to ever worry about it. Because as you were saying, should he fall short or not can go to the court, they probably will go all the way back to 2018 and get him from back child support. But it was an understanding that he was always going to be a provider, help me out whenever needed. It was never a doubt in my mind that he would do that.
Right.
So I never felt the need to go after him in child support because he's given me way more than what the courts would have allowed anyway. So that's why I said it's circumstantial when it comes with the child support. If you have to beg or constantly have to go after someone to take care of their child financially, absolutely put that man on child support. But if he's like willingly doing so, and I applaud any man that really put himself on child support and still doing the extra, just to cover himself and still do for that child. Because it doesn't matter if you getting 150 or if the child getting 600. That's still not enough over a month's time.
Like 150 ain't nothing.
It's not over a month's time to take
Before
care
that,
of
it
a
was
child.
$37.50
that on
every 2
brunch.
weeks.
Hey, man, we gonna
Hobie spends that on DoorDash.
$150
I have a teenager, y'all. That boy spend that, and he has apps on his phone. I'll come home like, where these chips and stuff come from? He done got stuff on DoorDash. So I'm like, 150 is not going to cover this 13-year-old's lifestyle.
Right. I don't know. I just feel like with the child support thing, in my opinion, it's better to do it than to not. Only because you never know how people can change. Like, somebody may be ride or die for you and your child 1 second, but they could get in another relationship.
Or you can get in a relationship and then that can change it up.
Or you could be smitten and it could change the dynamics. Now, what they were doing, they're not doing. And I don't know. That's just weird to me. And like, what were you going to say?
I was going to say something I learned going through the process because, I mean, it was a learning experience. This is my first child. And what I learned through the experience, here in Texas, was he literally could have told them how much he wanted to pay in child support.
Yeah.
Because before the judge requires anything, it's a mediation. Because at the end of the day, they encourage us to work together and come to a common ground.
Right.
And I think people who've never been through the process, or if their partner kind of like just did it without, really including them, they may not be aware of that. But if you guys can cooperate, communicate, and say, okay, this is what I can do, and we agree on that, they'll sign off on it.
Wow.
And so I think in my situation, it was just a lot of high tension. So that was not really the route we could take at the moment. I think looking back, we probably could redo it that way, but they have a choice.
I feel like listening to you is actually better to go through the courts than actually just going to like the child support office. Because I feel like they're
filed
not
with the court.
With the court.
Yeah. So we were literally in the courtroom.
They take your money.
We were literally in the courtroom, and they broke us off into like breakout rooms because it was all via Zoom due to COVID.
Okay.
And there was a mediator there, and he was like, "Don't make me do more work. This is the standard schedule based off your income. This is, he didn't check any pay stubs, like nothing. Like long as I would have been like, that's fine, he would have typed it up, sent it to the judge, and the judge would have signed off on it.
Even from Mississippi.
Yeah. They don't.
And people don't.
They don't do that in Mississippi.
They don't.
They probably should have. A lot of guys would probably actually prefer that more.
Yes.
Because I think the one negative side of like a guy being on child support is they feel like they're gonna pay too much, which is not possible because they only take a certain percentage out, and that percentage they take out is like what you would probably spend on like alcohol, probably. So it's not even like So like it's just like food stamps. It's like any type of assistance is just like a support, just like a portion of. It's not meant to cover everything.
Right.
So when we talk about like even if a child is, like let's say a father pays $800 to someone, that may sound like a lot. But if that's a percentage of their income, that should not be a lot, because if that child lived with them, they would probably spend way more than
Exactly.
$800.
Mhm.
So it's just
Exactly.
I think when we look at these celebrities, right, and people go, "Oh, they're paying $250,000
A year
and
for
I'm
child
just
support,
like,
yeah.
but that their income though, like,
Yeah.
you tend to broke bitch shit, like
Yeah.
It's
right?
rich
Like,
shit.
right.
they got a different type of lifestyle. Like,
25,000 a
this
month.
child, right? This child
I'm in a-
is in a different like
My next child.
tax bracket.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
My next
Right.
child got to be in another tax.
Right.
Okay.
So I don't know,
The next
but
hungry.
I'm real big on that child support thing, just because like I know like I've had plenty of debates with my female friends on like putting a child's father on child support, because I'm like, if you are struggling and you're not able to get that money from the father
Mhm.
and you're struggling, I don't want to hear you complain about struggling if you have not taken a
Well,
step.
you better know where he
Okay.
works. and
Because
his
you
social.
feel like they
Yeah.
haven't done enough to tap into their resources to make their
Right.
situation better.
Right.
Right.
And my thing is like,
Don't-
even if you didn't put him on child support, like, because I'm not saying like,
You
every guy
can
has to
literally
be put,
probably write something on a piece of paper and y'all both sign off on it,
Need to
and
notarize
it will hold. Like
right. Because I'm not saying you have to necessarily put
contract at
every
that point.
guy on
Oh,
child
yeah, you-
support.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
But what I am saying is like, but if you can't, like you said earlier, if you can't get it though,
Right.
Mhm.
and you're not trying to get it, you're just like, well, he's just not gonna do right. But you're not putting him on child support, then I
He'll
feel
do
like
right.
it's like an emotional, like it's some other factors going on as to why maybe you are not
You may still have
Put it-
feelings. I feel like some
right.
people may not put their kids' father on child
to protect the
support.
relationship.
Yeah,
with
you
the
still
baby
have
daddy.
feelings.
Right,
You don't know
right,
what he's going, how
right.
he's going to react.
Right.
And
Why do you
that's
care
fair.
about that?
I didn't care. I got
That's
drugged.
why a lot of
I got drugged
guys-
down the hall to hear it. I got
That's why a lot of guys take offense when they get that
Yeah.
mail, that subpoena
No,
in the
it's-
mail.
it's-
Like, how dare you?
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
and
that-
they feel betrayed because
Why?
it's that mental.
and I
It's-
think also like it just may be like, I won't say cultural per se, but just like maybe your community, your upbringing, how your family feels about it. Cause I feel like if your mom, her perception is like, oh, if she put you on child support, she just after your money. She's taught that to you.
Right.
So
Yeah, that
if-
makes sense.
If
Yeah.
I put you on child support, you're thinking I'm doing it because I want your money,
Right, that's
ignoring the
what
fact that we're equally yoked. But you're like, oh, you're just trying to get my money. You just mad, like you're doing this because you're mad. No, some people do it because they just want to move on.
yeah,
That's all you want.
yeah.
Yeah.
Nothing more.
I don't like. We
Yeah.
already struggle with communication. We ain't gotta communicate. Just read the paper. This is the
Yeah.
time and the place,
Yeah, because
and we move
yeah.
on.
And like I just feel like because like I said, I can't speak from a parent point of view, but I can speak from the child's point of view.
Right.
I was a child who like my dad didn't necessarily like, he wasn't on schedule with, he owed back child support. He wasn't on schedule with his
Mhm.
child support. And that's not a dig or like a, jab at him. He probably just didn't have it or just whatever the case may be. But I saw how my mom struggled a lot, like a lot, to like just put food on. Like she worked a lot to where in the fact that like, I feel like I missed out on like the normal things that kids do with their parents. Like, my mom showing up to like different like events that I have when mom had to work. She couldn't be there. But that was because like she wasn't necessarily like getting the support that she needed. And that's why I'm so strongly about it. It's not about like man bashing or male bashing. I'm a man at the end of the day.
Mhm.
Just because I like men don't mean I'm not a man. So it's like I definitely understand like that it is, there are other factors, but because I come from the child's point of view, and I even say this like when it comes to like not even just child support, just being present for your child. Like when I grew up, my dad was in the household. Like my dad was in the house until I was 13, but he wasn't present.
Mhm.
And so when they got divorced, he tried a little bit after that because he wanted to get my mom back. So he was like, I'm gonna come pick him up. But it didn't feel natural to me. So I was always very awkward when I would be like around my dad, and I could tell that he was awkward. because he would like take me to my grandma's house, like because that was like I don't think he just knew how to like
What to
be
do with you.
around me because he didn't have to do that,
Yeah.
Right.
So even spending time with your kids, I feel like besides the child support factor, spending time with your kids is very, very important because like you don't want your child to grow up like I grew up where I was like, it took me almost being 30 before me and my dad actually like talk consistently now.
Yeah.
But it took till I was almost 30 years old for that to happen.
Right. So like I mentioned, like my intentions were more so like boundaries. Like we were struggling with communication, but we was also struggling with boundaries and just like control and back and forth. And at the end of the day, I just wanted to be my healthiest and happiest form because I saw my mom go through things emotionally. I didn't want my son to grow up and then once he starts processing his childhood to realize that he grew up with a sad mother.
Right.
So, and it's like, I can't be arguing with you and I'm trying to spend time with our child. The same way with you. I shouldn't be arguing with you and you're supposed to be present and spending time with our child. Like, what we got going on is they are the result of that, but they should not have to suffer because we couldn't get it together.
Right.
That's deep because my son would probably be the opposite because I was young, like 19.
Right.
So trying to be in a relationship, trying to be a mom, trying to work. I left the house because I feel like I didn't need nobody. I could do it on my own. I feel like my son did have to suffer a little with like me and his father because of like the infidelity, just stuff he was doing. And I would fight him and, in front of Kobe. Like I wonder now, like I know he was like 3, maybe
right.
4. Like, do he remember some of the stuff? Like, does it affect him? Like, I don't want him to look at women like, oh, women are crazy. Like, because I mean, I would hit his daddy. Like, I know he knows that, but it's
right.
like, I'm listening to you, like how you're saying, like spending time with your dad and like how you're saying, like just being, present.
Right.
Like, I feel like I probably wasn't as present because I was just working and making sure Kobe had like a good life. And I probably wasn't as present when he was younger.
But that's not something that like Kobe would ever like fault you for. Because in like my experience, I would never fault my mom for not being able to be there because I knew that if she was with us, we would not have been able to dress like we dressed because we stayed in the bed and shit.
Yeah, Kobe stayed in the bed.
You've been a main character your whole life.
Been the bed.
I didn't play by my bed.
I know that. So it's like I just stayed in the nice clothing. Never lived in like no nasty ass, raggedy ass houses. Never like. Although my mom did on her own, we always had a really, really good life.
Yeah, I did. That's why I feel like I had to do it for Kobe. Me and my mom used to argue about that. Why you feel like you got to live here and pay all these bills and do this? I'm like, I got it from you. I never seen you like struggle that I know of. Like if you did, I didn't really see that. Like you always provided a good lifestyle. So I feel like that's what I had to do for Kobe. Like even though I left the house, I dropped out of college, I grew up pretty quick. Like I still made sure Kobe was like good. Now I feel like for all them years, now I'm kind of like at a place where I'm humbling myself.
Yeah.
Like things are different now.
Well, I think basically the goal is to break those generational curses because we all at some point grew up in single parent homes, including myself. And that's why it was important for me and my child's father to sit back and develop a co-parenting relationship that was actually healthy. That was not easy. When everyone see me and Jay, they think, oh, y'all have everything together. Y'all are the ideal. It didn't start off pretty. And we didn't have that blueprint. Like him and his parents did not effectively communicate. My parents didn't effectively communicate. I didn't see that healthy co-parenting. So we didn't know how to really jump into it. We know that we wanted that for our son, but how to go after it, we wasn't sure. So we went to counseling. We actually sat with a therapist and we actually, talked to the therapist. We discussed boundaries. We discussed, we're no longer going to be together. How is that going to look? What type of imagery we want that to have? Who's going to carry what responsibilities? All of that was discussed through months of therapy. And what I had to do was also heal from the relationship that failed. I had to get out my feelings. There's a lot of times, us as women, especially Black women, we're not going to act like the bitter baby mommy does not exist. She is there. And that's because she's hurt. She never healed. We have to go through a healing process and mourn that relationship that just did not make it. And so when we do that, that keeps us open to have that healthy communication with our child's father and not a grudge. It did not work, but your child is here. You will forever have that tie.
Preach it.
So,
yeah, because there's a lot of women out here that are still holding on to that failed relationship.
Yeah.
And it's just like the child is suffering.
Yes.
And it's just like, well, number one, because I just know how niggas work, it's just like they like to control you.
Yeah.
So if they can control you through that child, they will. And if you allow them to control you, they will. I have seen it with multiple of my friends who have baby fathers who try to control them. I'm like, that's a control thing. If he gonna call you and literally like get under your skin, that's what he wanted to do. He wanted to make sure that your day was ruined. That now he could go out and do him, and you're upset about just stop engaging. That's why it's good to go through court so you don't have to do all of that.
Yes. And also I was like, when I was listeing to your testimony or your experience, it was a testimony. That's very fortunate that, what I'm saying, like you were able to go through that. And I mean, I don't know your child's father, but it seems like he himself is at least at a healthy space too. And so I think not a lot of times, but sometimes it's difficult to do that when one of you aren't in that healthy space. And so to anybody who may feel like they're going through that, like that's where those boundaries come in place. And for me, like I empathize. Like I see people for who they are, and that's just you. You know what I'm saying?
She is like that.
And so even with my son's father, like, even though what we went through is what we went through, and I can probably say he's the meanest man I've ever dated in my life.
Really?
Yeah. But I also never had a child with nobody else. So, we got that kind of locked in right there. But when we would talk, I heard him. I listened to him. And so I saw him for him, and unfortunately, what we had to go through really made him reveal who he is at the core. And I just saw, like, you just got a lot of work that you need to do. And this actually has nothing to do with me.
That's right.
This has nothing to do with me. I'm just, I just got to struggle through it with you or whatever. Like, for whatever reason, God used me to be in this situation with you to reveal this. And whatever you do with this, is your business. But I think sometimes when you stop taking it personal,
yes, that's it.
You are able to kind of choose your battles wisely and stay more and focus on the overall goal, which is what's best for your child. And like, I could pick on a lot of things that he do that I don't like, but at the end of the day, is my son safe? Is my son happy?
Yep. And I say there's a lot of times that me and my son's father, we don't see eye to eye. And we're probably the complete opposite of each other. So, yeah, sometimes we can clash, but we have learned to actually have that communication. And yes, sometimes it might be some words. That's over there. I can't stand your ass.
Right.
Sometimes it comes out like that. But at the end of the day, we come back and be like, you know what? What we said, let's talk about that. Let's take a step back, because we don't want to have that type of energy and things, especially around our son, any type of way. Right. And my baby, he's autistic. He's nonverbal, special needs. And so he observed a lot of what we do. So he's like a little sponge right now. So we don't want him to copy mommy and daddy. And when he does start talking, we don't want him to repeat some of the things that we may say to each other. Yeah. But to your point, how you say don't take it personally. And a lot of times we can't control how our baby daddies feel or their own healing journey. What we can't control is how we react to things.
Right.
And how we heal from our own perspective. Because after we had our co-parent therapy, I continued on with my own therapy. We tried to build myself up as who I am now outside of this relationship and as a single woman that has a child. Who am I? What am I going to do? Let me work on myself. Let me work on my anger that I may be having in this situation. And at this point, if it don't have anything to do with my son, then why worry about it? It was points that I was talking to my therapist about things, and I was like, but he did this. And my therapist said, what they have to do with Ethan? Is it affecting Ethan? Didn't this happen before Ethan even comes? But why hold on to it? And so once I looked into that, I started slowly letting things go. Once you let those things go, especially things that no longer serve you or your child, you can grow. And you can forgive. And whatever that man does, whether it's something malicious, something to get under your skin, it won't even penetrate you no more. You at peace. You got your peace.
Yeah, you don't want to be like me because if you hold on to that anger for years, you just become that bitter, angry black woman.
No.
And then you push everybody away. You go, the men, the friends.
The men, the friends.
Yes, I feel like my baby, I let him have so much power over the way I feel about everything. Like men, the way I view men for years, it took a lot of healing. It took me really years. I feel like, don't be like me. Do not be in a relationship fighting a man. When your man show you who he is, believe him. Let him go.
And
if he's your child father, don't matter.
That's him. I think that's the thing, too. I think maybe as women, we feel like we can change people.
Yeah, you like, he gonna change. I used to pray. I was like, Lord, please let him change. My dad like, baby, you to pray over and over. He ain't changed yet. When you gonna let it go?
Let people just be who they want to be.
Yeah, it's like, but you just see like, I done put all these years in. Ain't no way nobody else coming in.
Right. You
about
felt
to
like
get...
you invested and you lost years. And that's a lot of times, it's not that we even want these men. We know that.
Yeah, now I think like, dang, I really didn't even want him.
That was my question to you. I'm about to why in the hell did this girl left the toxic situation and then went back with the man like they was broken up? And then one day out of the blue, I look on Facebook and they all at church together. This is years later.
Church.
Kobe is about
that's the ultimate makeup location.
Kobe about 6 or 7.
We a family.
What it is? Okay, I think this is when we knew each other.
Yeah.
So this is before I moved to Hawaii. I moved to Alabama. I got over OJ. I was doing my thing. And it's just something clicked in my head when I found out he had another baby. Toxic. And I don't know what. I don't know why. Like, he had a baby on me, basically. And for some reason, I just didn't. I felt like she wasn't about to change him, and I've been, put in all that work. And so, like, yeah, I whipped his ass, and I got back with him. See, that's toxic. I was really in a toxic situation, y'all. Like, it was bad.
You being the beater.
I was okay. So I was the aggressor. I was the abuser.
Got a little aggression in her too.
But y'all,
the feds be
listening. I apologized to him literally not last week because he said, "I'm sorry that I wasn't there for Kobe like I was supposed to. I'm sorry I didn't treat you the way I don't care about how you treated me, but I can say I'm wrong for staying in that relationship, put my hands on you because you weren't no good for me. I should have let it go, but I just didn't want to. Like that's all I knew. Like my baby daddy I was 18 when I met him. Like, I didn't want to just let that go. Like, I feel like I was a failure in that relationship. And I'm just like, I didn't want to look like that, I guess. I want to prove that he can be this good person that he wasn't.
That it was
he was just a person that likes to cheat. He has 2 kids.
Yeah.
On me. He had one child a year after Kobe, and I didn't find out until Kobe was 10. Like, I was in Hawaii. My mom called like, oh, he has another child. And I'm like, see, it's like stuff I didn't know, but it took me so long to just get him out of my system. And like it got really bad when I found out about the baby. And me and the girl would like be sitting up at his mama house. I'm thinking I'm with him. She thinking she with him. Oh, wow. And then the parents, they sitting there playing both of us. Like it just became so much. And I didn't even look like myself. I remember I saw pictures of myself. Like I looked older. Like I was about 50 years old. Like I was stressed out. I mean, then I started making more money, and I'm like, this man ain't no good for me. Like he lost his job. I'm like, what am I competing with her for? Like you can have him. You know, she said she didn't want to put him on child support. She was gonna be there for him, so I let them have it, baby.
Well, you know the thing about it is that's the other part of this conversation. It's just like emotionally healing. Because outside of it just being your child's father, I think that just like emotionally healing is an important topic because obviously it's a little different if you have a child because like that's like a even greater bond. But just like emotionally healing from like relationships is really big because I feel like you do sometimes feel like you can change people. And then sometimes you do feel like
and they bring you down while you trying to change them.
And sometimes it could be that like you're just very empathetic. I'm a very empathetic person. So if I see anything in you that I've seen in somebody else that I love, it will make me be very empathetic to you. And then like I'm like, oh well, my uncle was like that, or like, oh, like my so granddad was like that. So like I get it. Like I love my grand, but like you know sometimes like moving on, like emotionally healing can be a bad thing. I just wonder how has it affected your dating life? Like,
oh, yeah, mine sucked it for a while. Like I hurt the man that I got with right after that because I thought I was healed. But then, like, he was so nice that I'm like, this is so foreign. Like, he full of shit. Like, why he being so nice to me, trying to treat me right? And I wasn't ready for that. So they failed instantly. And that's when I realized, okay, bitch, you need to work on yourself.
You the problem.
You're the problem. Like, you have a lot going on. And I was like, but that took years. Yes, you have to be by yourself. Like, because I was with this man for about 10 years on and off. And then I get into this. This failed in 90 days. I done moved across the world for this man. And I wasn't ready. I still had that anger. I want to pop off and hit you for no reason. You wouldn't even treat me bad. But because I feel like men not shit. Because of my baby daddy.
Now you beat his ass.
Trying to put my head. He let me know. Look, he let me know. You not finna be my age. Okay? He said, look, you not finna be my age. You gonna take that crazy ass shit back over there to Mississippi.
Well, I will say this. In the South, the violence and the domestic abuse is very...
the women be throwing them hands.
Well, it's just very... It's a very prevalent thing in the South.
Yeah, I'm not like that no more.
I don't know. Maybe in the North, y'all let me know. Because I don't... Like, if you are from the North, let me know if this is a thing in the North.
And y'all, we talking for past because we don't do this now. We don't be out here fighting me.
No, I try not to because it's not.
Y'all be out here fighting these men.
Well, now.
No.
I got some stories.
I done hung up my heavyweight.
I done hung up, baby. I'm over here little tremors and stuff in the right hand and get off.
I just playing. No, I do not support domestic violence.
Me either.
I do not support domestic violence anymore.
But don't fuck around and find out either though.
Okay.
But I will protect myself by any means necessary.
I ain't no killer, but don't push.
Please don't push Big G.
I feel like just like, can you date? So here's a question: what type of man do you look for when you're dating? Don't you have a child? Like, do you look for like a person that you can introduce your child to eventually, or you're just dating around just because?
Okay.
Oh yeah, because y'all not drinking enough for me.
I'll go.
You want some more?
I'm gonna say yeah, pass it around.
You want yours?
I'll
Get
go
yours
first.
back.
Okay, go ahead, Miss Thing.
Well, it's real. It ain't long. I realized because now that I'm dating with as a mother, it is different because I could like you all day, but I now have to assess like, are you a good fit for my child as well? And it's not that you're gonna meet him anytime soon, but like if we get locked in and it gets serious,
That's a good question.
then I also have to make sure you're somebody that I wouldn't mind my son like modeling behind. So I date, like I really be listening. I really pay attention to the things you say. I really pay attention to your behaviorisms, how you treat people when we go out to eat at dinner, like everything. Because after the situation I learned, like I think sometimes we can like describe our man and we forget like internal qualities about him. Like I want him well groomed and this and that and the third, but we forget simple things like I just want him to be nice and polite.
Right.
And have manners. Like, we forget to throw that in the pot.
Yeah,
And
that's the old me. He got to be fine, light skin, tall, 6'5".
So I realized
Right.
like paying attention to characteristics
motherfucker.
Yeah.
and
The devil.
mannerisms. Characteristics and mannerisms, like that needs to be included as well, because if you are the man of my house, my son is going to model behind you. So are you even somebody that I would mind my son modeling?
We all have boys.
True.
Yeah. Well, what about you, Jaleesa? Like,
I
how
mean-
did your dating life wise? How has
Yeah,
your
that sucked for a while, but now let's fast forward. I was definitely single for about 5 years because I had to heal from my last relationship because I had a good man and I didn't know how to treat him and I lost him. Kobe liked him, so that kind of bothered me because he felt like I was this bad person because relationship ended, and I feel like because my son doesn't have his father as present. He looks for that male role model. Like he's looking for this man to come in and he can go play football with, because when he's with his friends' dads, like, they all treat him like he's family. And one day he asked me, I was dating the last guy before this guy. He was like, "Do he know you got a son?" And that kind of like bothered me because I'm like, why would you think like I wouldn't tell like somebody that I had a child?
right?
It's just I don't want him meeting every guy that I just date.
What's a good
You
time
know.
frame to meet your child?
Yeah, that's a good
That's
question.
what we were kind of talking about
Yeah,
this
we
earlier.
gotten there.
earlier.
You never
But
got there.
You never got there?
Mm-mm.
I'm like, especially after that, because my
Not that I
son did
haven't
get a
either.
bun. Now I'm in a relationship, like, and like I was telling you, we dated.
Mm-hmm.
We've been on each other since December.
Has he met your child?
No, okay. So let me tell y'all. So he's older. This is my first older guy. I always said I would never
Now,
date nobody
how
older.
old?
He's 41. I'm 32.
That's right up Lily Alley.
That's
a
regular age.
Right,
He's
that's
so
Lily's alley.
good. Like he treat me so good. I really like him.
40 plus.
But he got
She gonna
kids
say
too.
60 or something.
I've never dated nobody like a year older than me, maybe.
Yeah, she
Never.
like them young ones.
I
She
would-
like them
yeah.
her age.
So this was
she
like,
her
he
peers.
teaches me things about myself. Like he's really into church, very like spiritual. Like his faith is, he's trying to get me like to not be so negative because he'll catch me doing little things like but and like can't. And he was like, baby, like don't do that. Like I like him. Like I really do want him to meet Kobe, but it's like I don't want to rush that because he has a 12 and 15-year-old, 12 and 14-year-old, and then Kobe's 13. So I'm like, so when is the right time? Like, we've been dating, but we didn't make it official till May. So I feel like that still needs to be like at least a few more months before we like, our kids are older before we just like, I mean, his kids, they know about me now because I sent some cookies to the house. But like, Kobe knows about him, but like, we just haven't.
Right.
I think the good thing though is you're dating somebody else who's a parent as well.
Yes.
So that's another thing. I went
Yes.
from dating, like my preference was men with no kids, and now I like them with
Jaleesa
kids.
would not date no man.
I
with
would
no
not date a
kids.
man. Yeah, the
Now, she
last
don't
guy.
want to have no more kids, so she be talking about
Yeah,
that.
my man had a
kids, 'cause
vasectomy,
I'm
so we
not-
are good over here.
Like
Y'all done having kids?
lately I've been kind of wanting another one, but I'm not having like a bunch.
After
of
I seen the way my
kids.
spinal cord curved today on the X-ray, baby, I'm not having no more kids.
So
The
like,
jury is still out.
yeah, like I gotta. I
Listen,
mean,
better not have no more.
I'm on God's time, but I have a
sound like my
cutoff.
mom.
And so if I don't meet my husband,
Look.
within the next few years, then it's the cutoff because I'm trying to be on their yacht.
But y'all,
Yeah, see, me and my
y'all
husband gonna be on the
children
yacht
are
with
also
our
younger.
grandkids.
Yeah.
Like Kobe's 13. For
Right.
Jaleesa to have a child now would be just crazy. As
I
hell.
know.
My mama did that, just crazy as hell. I was 15 years old and Central had Joy, and now she just graduated high school, and her and Kobe are very close. And it's like, I can't see myself doing that. Like,
yeah.
I mean, I would be more patient now, but my mom like, nah, baby,
Nah,
just live
baby,
your
don't
life.
be-
You and your
Yeah,
pride.
me and your mama
I'm
on
not
the
helping you
same
keep your
page.
kids. Like, she not helping me.
Mm-mm,
Yeah.
mm-mm.
And on my body, I had rise in my back, and like after having Kobe, I almost died. Like it was a lot with it where I'm just kind of like scared to
Yeah.
have a baby. So like I'm like, maybe this might be my man. You know, he had a vasectomy. He don't want
Right,
kids.
right.
He's been married before, so I feel like
Just might be it.
I'm only coming to
I
one
like
wedding.
him, y'all.
I'm gonna keep saying I'm only coming to one.
At first, I was
wedding.
like, I don't know about this shit,
Okay.
but
Not you telling.
I ain't coming to but one wedding.
yeah, now he already putting out what his nationality is.
We already know you said every time you on the podcast.
Wait. He could have been something else.
Oh.
They not the only ones.
This
who have
man keeps saying he not
multiple
coming to my wedding.
I'm coming to the
Well, I'll
American
come
one.
to the other
Him
one. He not
and
coming
Randall
to.
said they not. Both of my best friends said they not coming.
Well,
to
I just want to
My
come to the
Nigerian
tradition.
wedding.
I
Not
don't
coming.
have that type of money to be making it rain.
See, that's
And
what I'm
things,
talking about.
so-
That's why I'm not coming.
I'm more than ignorance. Thank you. We're gonna have fun.
Well, y'all can go together.
Right.
It's gonna be me and Lily.
Just
Just
do
there
it.
with me. Have nobody
Great,
else.
glad
I
you found somebody to
will
go.
get you off of the registry, and
This is
you know
sad.
that.
So y'all just gonna let them show up the American side.
Yeah.
Hey, you know,
Y'all need to be claiming that you're gonna be rich by the time I get married.
Even if I was rich, I still wouldn't come.
Because right now, marriage is not, baby. I just learned how to be in a relationship.
I want to go for
Marriage is a
for
little
research
far
purposes.
from
Right.
us.
You gonna go for what?
For research purposes.
For what? Research.
Because she like the same thing I like.
Oh Lord.
You know?
Allie, are you on that same wave with them?
As for like what dating?
Well, the type of men they like.
Oh no.
Don't
babe.
be-
Oh no.
You gotta find a good one.
But I said, mm-mm.
Mine is good.
I like mine 100%
Hood.
Negro. Negro. They do be
100%.
All the way.
No.
American
She
Negro.
done got on me about this.
No.
Oh, okay.
But I say, you call one a Negro if you want to and watch how much they denounce. That's not what they are.
That's a black king. Right
I want.
They are taught that they are the best.
there. Okay.
Okay. I want
She want a hood one.
a 100% Negro. U.S.
What is that?
born and
What if
bred.
he got 36% French? I don't know.
Oh, he could be Creole.
Creole. Oh, yeah. You are.
he
She is over there from like
He could be
Louisiana.
Creole. He can come on down. You know, we all a little gumbo pot. But as long as you were born and bred in the U.S.
Okay, so they can be
Oh, she said they got to be from the
Look,
U.S.
she done already said it.
They cannot be from the U.S. for me.
Jaleesa,
I don't give a damn where they
everybody
from.
Look, everybody watching
cut
this
that
knows
part
that
out.
Jaleesa likes African. She has
Just
said
cut
it
that part
every
out.
time she go to the podcast.
I would talk to a man for Belize.
Look, I
He
don't
just can-
discriminate.
Look, I don't
But I have
discriminate. I
fun.
love American men. It's just, I think they all in the same way. They just want to text WID. They want to just fuck.
Oh my god.
I mean, it's Africans like that too. But
I'm about to say.
I
It
mean,
is.
okay, let me stop being negative before y'all
because,
come at me in these comments.
Look, they came for one
They
time
came
before.
for me once. My son, yes, I know I'm raising a black American man. He likes
minute.
Hispanic women, so he has a
it's
preference
talk to
too.
It's because of Dallas.
Tell him
What
TT.
neighborhood you got
Tell
that
him
baby
TT
in?
Alley is coming to have a little talk with him, okay?
And he might have another one, you know.
I
She
say-
might be.
Mm-mm.
You know,
we need to
That's
have a
what we
little
talking about
talk.
the
What?
other day.
What we
Kobe
talking
like
about
he
the
don't.
other
My
day?
I
son don't
want
discriminate.
put my baby in a neighborhood where when he go to
Kobe
school,
lived in
Oh,
McKinney
my
for
God.
4 years.
Yeah.
but that's for another day.
Yeah, that's
But
for
yeah,
another day.
You got that baby in,
But-
in
My
that
son's scared to go to school
neighborhood.
with black kids. How did you know?
Here's
That's
the
what I'm
thing.
saying. You got
And
him
he
in that
from
neighborhood.
what?
You
West?
got to think about it. Kobe went to school in Brandon.
Kobe was born in
Lowwood.
Meridian.
Kobe ain't never went to a school with.
Anderson Hospital. When Kobe born at Anderson
Rush.
Hospital or Rush? Kobe's born
Kobe
in
from
Meridian,
Meridian.
Mississippi.
That's probably the most black kids he's seen in his daycare at that time.
Baby, but his daddy is what?
But my
Jew
son is very
City.
diverse. He know how to go to Jackson and turn it off.
Provide.
He over there throwing up all types of stuff.
That's all you gotta say.
Then he come back home.
Okay.
He all, oh mom, how are you? But then he go to it. So I'm like, yeah, Jew. Like he know how to
Yeah.
switch it up.
Yeah.
Code switching.
he know.
Now his stepdaddy gonna be like, you know, Nigerian. I don't know what he gonna do because they not going for that Jew.
Let
You know.
let that baby be Jew. Let him be a Jack.
They not going for the hood shit.
I have a question.
for it.
How do you feel like your friends play a role being single moms? Or if they do they?
Wait, what?
What you mean?
How do you feel like your friends, if they do, play roles in your like journey of being a single mom?
Mm.
That don't
We talked
have
about this
kids?
earlier. It doesn't matter, just your friends in general.
Like as
We
a
talked
single
about this.
mom,
Well,
I
for
said-
me,
I ain't had a lot of them.
I have like when I
Girl,
moved out here, I moved away from family,
Right?
and I have a lot of friends out here from Mississippi. Look at you, a lot of friends out here from Mississippi, and they're like taking over and being villages, like
Right.
my child village. So I tell people, Ethan has a lot of aunties.
Well, I feel bad because I only feel like I've seen Ethan in about 3 years.
But I say,
Well, bitch, you gotta do better.
right, you got to do better.
Okay, now I am the bad. Okay, I ain't the
She's the
best
bad
babysitter.
aunt.
I am.
Right.
I've always been it. I ain't never been
Don't
a
let
good
her watch your
babysitter.
She'll
kids.
send
That's
a
what she
gift.
said.
Kobe might babysit him.
Right. She'll
Kobe
send
will
a gift.
babysit.
And she'll send a gift, but she won't see him.
Yeah, that is sad. Y'all forgive me because I really haven't been a good
we-
TT.
we
All my
know.
friends, you know, y'all be saying y'all be having the kids back to back. I be confused, but I don't judge.
Poor G.
But I said he understands.
My little two friends
Yeah.
married with kids, and I see they popping them out back to back.
I said I don't have I only have a couple of friends that actually have children, but I still have friends that don't have kids.
I feel like a lot of my friends have kids.
So I'm the first one,
All your friends.
and probably I'm the only one.
Really?
Yeah.
How
Nobody,
does that work?
nobody
Girl,
like.
everybody
you got
might go
my
out?
8 friend with kids.
Yeah, I don't have any
About
other.
10.
I don't have anybody. Like I have like friends that I've gained throughout different lanes in life, but as far as like my people, like my friends, none of them have kids.
Really?
So I am the first one with a kid, but I think I'm okay to an extent because I didn't like adjust my life around my son. I just like immersed him in what I do. So he done been to Ricky house, like
Yeah. Yeah.
that was Kobe too, baby. I just Kobe
like
just go
you
with
know,
the
like we
wind blow.
done did outings.
Kobe
I'll take
love
him
to
to
come over there when we all hang it
restaurants.
out.
If it's something where I need to be there and he's with me, we just going. And so that's just kind of been his life. So he's just used to it.
See, that's the complete opposite for me. And I
Mm.
say it looks a little different because, as I mentioned, my son is autistic.
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
So I had to actually readjust my life to fit
Mhm.
his.
Yeah. you
So
did.
there's not a lot of visiting or going to people's houses. We do things, but it has to be basically coincide with what he's comfortable with.
Right.
So since being a mom or since his regression when he was 2, then there has been a lot of times where I had to back off. Sometimes we don't go to every birthday party that we're invited to, or there's a lot of times I just can't make it because like I don't have no one to watch Ethan. Ethan is not going to sit down at your house, you know.
Oh no, Ethan ain't gonna sit down.
Right, so he's not going to sit down at your house. He's not going to. So if you easily offended by that, I'd rather not come to your
Come
home.
on.
And
But he
I-
don't do anything though. He just not gonna sit down.
But I say you have some people though that's
They
particular.
don't like kids. And
He just need like a room.
They
to
don't like
himself.
kids being kids.
Right.
Yeah.
And
And it's
a lot
like-
of
He just
things
likes to
like
run.
that.
Let
He
them
not
babies
gonna
run
do
around
Y'all
that.
the
know
house.
I'm such a daddy. Like
Yeah,
I
Ricky
really,
Ricky
like-
been there since
Uncle Ricky.
Kobe. Yeah, since
I
I was
was there
pregnant.
since
He was
before
there when I
Kobe
was
was
throwing
pregnant.
up. Couldn't hold nothing down.
Right. I held Kobe when the first day he was born.
When I had supposed to get gone to glory. You remember I could hold my own child.
Right.
Thinking to held the child. I couldn't hold Kobe.
The thing about it is, I feel like friends are very vital to
They are.
single mothers, especially
Yes,
if you have a
yes.
son, right?
Mhm.
Because like I don't do a good job, but I try to implement like this like Uncle Day
Oh, baby, Kobe know how his uncles are.
because we get drunk.
Baby, he like Uncle Ricky around the drunk.
Let me
Or he'll
tell you
call. We at Top Golf. They drink it and he having a ball.
Kobe wasn't promoting us to just have fun. He was just like, just have fun. Because he know he get money out of us when we get drunk.
Okay.
But the
He just
problem
like
is,
it.
I do think it's important for like single moms to have like guy friends who can step in and like do fun things with, because like sometimes like they just don't want to be around their mom all the time. They want to be around other people. They want to do different things. They want to I just think it's important. So that's why I take my job as an uncle very serious. I've never actually whooped any of my nephews and nieces. I haven't. I would, but I haven't because I'm the nice uncle.
He had to pull Jordan outside. It was my ex son.
Okay, now I did
Girl,
pop
he
him.
he had to pop Jordan.
Now I did pop him.
And he didn't even pop Kobe.
Right, because he was just showing out. Yeah, that he was just acting the fool.
He was acting a fool. You know, some kids
Yeah.
just act a fool.
But I do try to be like that role model that like if my friends, kids, they see me, I want them to be like, oh, I want like when I grow up, I want to like have a house like Uncle Ricky or like I want stuff like Uncle Ricky.
Yeah.
Like I think that's important.
I think
Yeah.
the good thing about that, like maybe because I'm the first one in the group with a kid, or I don't know, because I feel like they may have other friends who have children, and I know when my best friend had a kid, I wasn't the best friend for her, but we were.
You wasn't?
No, because we were relatively young. So I was like in my 20s. I'm like,
You want to try to help her?
yeah.
That was me too. Girl, that was me and I had a whole
true. That's
child.
not true because I
Ricky,
used to
I ain't
keep
never tried
Kobe.
keeping about a child.
No, you didn't. But like when you had Kobe, like I remember times where like you would go to work and I would keep Kobe.
That's true.
Yeah,
I ain't never did that for none of
but
my
I've
friends.
raised all my.
That's
Yeah,
sad.
but that's the
I am
thing,
really
like,
sorry.
I
I'm going to
think-
be present in these other kids' lives because,
She a damn lie.
baby, if you ask me to keep your child, I'll probably be like, But if you say keep coming, I'm like, yeah, I'm going to drop them off.
But no, like I think one thing I had to get over
I'm sorry,
in
Jerome.
going through like going through my situation and having a kid, being whatever, was that I felt like my friends didn't really see me. And so I didn't feel supported.
What you mean?
What you mean?
Like nobody knew I was depressed.
Did you tell us you was depressed?
But that's the thing. Nobody
Did anybody
saw
check on her?
me. I didn't even know I was depressed.
But I
See,
thought
But it
I
was
can relate to
certain
that.
behaviorisms that were
I was
beyond
depressed.
me.
when you were pregnant or after you had your
After
child?
I was pregnant.
It's usually after.
I'm
It's
trying to-
usually, but that's the thing. It was
Nobody know.
It was COVID. It was a lot of things
Oh,
going
was your baby
on.
COVID?
Yeah, my baby is a 2020 baby.
Oh,
So it was a lot of things going on. But
Yeah.
for those I talk to every day, it was like not that it's your fault
Right.
or your responsibility
Right.
to pinpoint it, but it's like you didn't even say, girl, you don't even seem like yourself right now.
That's it.
So you
I
feel
can
like you
relate.
really-
You
wasn't
did
yourself.
get very distant.
I
Like
can
you
relate to
did
that.
become very distant, but for me, I just
You was
thought
depressed?
it was because you were in a relationship, or like so I thought, right?
Yeah.
I just thought it was because like
Yeah, and I think that's the thing. Like sometimes as friends, like you don't know how to respect that new boundary because like you're a
Right.
mom, you're
Yes.
navigating that.
Mhm.
So I want to respect that. But then on the other side, me as your friend, it's like, but I felt like you should know me to just be like, girl, you okay?
I
'Cause-
had to get to the point to kind of forgive people for like their ignorance in that because
Yeah.
I've always been the strong friend.
Yes.
I have
wait,
always
can I
been-
stop you one second?
Yes.
Because we're about to take a break
Okay.
and we'll be back in 2 weeks and we're gonna pick back up on this topic. So check us out in 2 weeks and thank you for joining.
Like 2 minutes.
Thank you.